Welcome, foolish mortals. Um, Jurassic, are you still here? Just popping in a little early. I had nothing better to do, and the roommates are watching all the Marvel movies, so I needed to get out of the area. It's way too loud down there. But of course, everybody's here for we're getting ready for the big pull for the NECA ghost face figure. Hey Nate, what's up? Landron, how you doing? But yeah, I just finished watching some of Rocco's latest escapades. That guy's nuts. Hey Victor, how you doing? Victor, I love your books, just a little too long-winded. Les Miserables could have been like 500 pages shorter. I'm just saying. Hey, babyface. Good, Nate. It was a good day. I'm going to go do some hunts tomorrow, even though it's supposed to be like 10 degrees here. It's better than, and I only have one day off this week for Sunday, so I wanted to do some stuff around here, and it's supposed to be 5 degrees, so I'm not going out anywhere on Sunday. So I figured I'd do some hunting tomorrow, and, got paid, so there's a little bit of money to play with, but not a whole lot out there to buy still. But, hey, Downfall, how you doing? Hoping to hit a couple Walmarts, see what little left clearance they have. I was going to go for a long drive Sunday to a very out of the way Walmart, but I'm going to have to wait for another week for that. Just too cold. Don't want to take the chance on the roads. Thank you, Mystery Walk. Hey, Sleeping, how you doing? Yeah, that polar freeze is nothing to joke about. I was looking at I think they said Dallas was going to be at like 45 degrees tomorrow or Saturday. It's cold everywhere. It was, even when Miami says they're going to be 65, that's pretty cold. I'm sure you'll watch wandering around in what big coats they have, trying to keep warm. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? And Downfall, I saw pictures of that wreck down in Texas today. That was crazy. Those semis just kept slamming into that bunch of cars. It was so scary to watch, and sadly 5 people passed away, but it's a miracle only 5 people passed away when you watch those crashes. Is it cold sleeping, or are you just tired of the snow? Because that's at least one thing. We're not having any snow this year, and it's the mountains are getting some, so it's good for the skiers. But we're down here. We're just not getting anything. Thank you. I don't know why there isn't a real Snack-O-Lantern cereal. Hey Dave, how you doing? Oh my goodness, 16. That is cold. How is it snowing when it's that cold out? Holy smoke. TW, how you doing? Fort Worth, that's where that was. Yeah, man, that crash was crazy. But I mean, you guys don't really have snowplow equipment down there. It snows, or ice is so rarely down there. You just don't have the equipment to deal with it. I don't like watching, but it's interesting to watch, like when Atlanta gets a little freeze. And Atlanta, if you haven't been there, is built basically on hills, and so downtown Atlanta is just a nightmare to try and get around in any kind of cold. But just horrible. And Dave, Buffalo, that lake effect snow is no joke. I'm sure you got quite a bit piling up, but no, I didn't see that Apprentice Ewok. What are they trying to bring up? Just distribution stuff, or um, the amount of stuff they're actually putting out? Because it would be nice to get the pegs filled. I mean, for everything Hasbro has, they own so many licenses now. They're a quarter or more of the toy section between Transformers and Star Wars and Marvel, and there's just so much. Am I Michigan or Minnesota? -8. Oh, see, that's why people aren't supposed to live in Canada. If it wasn't for the maple syrup mines, we wouldn't really need Canada. People could just move here where it's not -8. 80 degrees and then snow in a week. I'm more afraid of you guys, and if it gets too cold down there, your pipes freezing and stuff. Michigan, okay. Too many M states. MN is Minnesota, okay. I'll start doing that too. I've got a Apprentice Ewok. I hit the stores and there's just nothing. I mean, slowly Transformers are finally hitting, but the rest of the stuff just is not popping out. There can't be that many of us out buying everything. There should be sleeper pegs with some stuff on them. Either it's Queen Amidala in the vintage line, or Jar Jar, or Peter B. Parker. But even then, you only see like one Parker. The Gina thing is sad. I'm going to miss her character a lot. And I want to make sure we don't go over, into anything political, but, she knew it was coming. They've been pushing her since November. And she was trying to make a statement of, this is what I think, and you can't stop me from thinking it. Unfortunately, Disney has a bigger brand to deal with, and Twitter can be a horrible place. I went on today for a little while just to see how Twitter was reacting with everybody I follow from Star Wars and stuff, and man, it was harsh. The divide is very hard again, and The Mandalorian was supposed to bring us all back together, and hopefully they can grab that back. But I don't know what they're going to do for what was it, Marshals of the High Republic or Marshals of the New Republic? I can't remember what that new show was going to be called that supposedly she was going to be a big part of. So they would have started pre-production on it, but Rangers of the New Republic, that's it. Thank you, Ewok. There are too many shows announced simultaneously. I get all the names confused. But it was sad to see her go, and it's sad to see her character go. But they can ride around her. I mean, they rode around everybody else, so they can just, she's off doing something, kind of like what was the dog's name on The Simpsons that they added to Itchy and Scratchy, and then just, I have to go back to my planet, and then he was gone. Anyway. No, TW, I can see you. Downfall, Gina Carrero, who plays on The Mandalorian, kind of said something very ineloquent. She was trying to make a point, but she made it very poorly, and it got poochy. That's right. Thank you, Nate. And it got kind of spread over the internet, and she's had a couple other things in the past. And so it was time to go. You know, Lucy Lawless would not be a bad fit. She's a little older now, so it might not be great, but recasting her is always a possibility, and they'll just ignore the fact that she's different. I mean, they recast Grand Moff Tarkin. Of course, they put a computer skin over him. They really didn't need to. Greg Henry was actually really good. If you watch the outtakes and stuff, they could have just recast him. But fans will have a fit either way. But I think, I've already, part of Rocco's whole stream tonight was anti-Disney, anti-Star Wars now. And we don't need that. They made a business decision, and we can choose not to buy Star Wars stuff, but I'm not gonna. It's been 40 some years. I'm not gonna buy Star Wars things just because of one character. If I did that, I wouldn't own any Force Awakens stuff, and I do. So, no, I have not done the drawing. I was going to wait until about 10 after, just to let people get on if they're going to pop in. I do have the little spinner thing all set up, or there were 27 people who entered this one. Oh, thank you, Downfall. I like Rocco, but he can be a little much some days. He makes me laugh a lot, but he's definitely crazy. But what else is everybody up to? I know tonight is, I know I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and watch WandaVision. I just have to. I don't know what time I'll wake up, but anytime after, if I'm awake after 1 a.m. for something, I'm going to come in and watch WandaVision. I may open it up and do a live stream, but, last time I did that, I got hit with the copyright because it heard in the background, it heard music, so I had to get that cut out. But WandaVision is tonight. That's going to be pretty good. I know Sleeping's got a stream, and I think EMC or MCE. Why I have such a hard time with acronyms now in my old age. Is supposedly doing a stream tonight, and Rocco's just finishing a stream. Nate's going to do one tomorrow. Cool. What time, Nate? I know Sleeping said he was going to go on in a couple hours, and I know didn't want to take up too much of everybody's time tonight, but that way we can all get over to Rocco's at some point, or not Rocco's, Sleeping's at some point. He's just a little over 30 hours away from his hit. No, Jurassic haven't. I'm going to do that at 5:10. That way we can see who's all here. 3 p.m. Pacific. It's 4 my time. I might miss it because I'll be out hunting. But if I'm back, I'll definitely have it on. TW, make sure if you guys have a site, your own channel, let us know, and the mods will click it up here for you and get you a couple follows if we can. I know most everybody's got TEW already, but go ahead, put yours up. Downfall, put yours up. Put Nate's up if you would. Put Jurassic's Custom Collectors up. He's got some really cool stuff up. If you guys could link some of those, that'd be great. Dave's Dimensions. If you guys can go and get these guys up as well. I know Marvelous Collector just hit 200, 205, I think, on a stream he was just finishing. So that's great if we can all just come along. So, what up, Destination? How you doing? Yeah, we'll just take the next couple minutes and put everybody in here. Hey, what up, John? How you doing? Landon, that happens. I was at 218 and I lost 5 over the past couple of days. I don't know if they were bots that YouTube just took away, or you just lose people from time to time. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, that which must not be named is not fun, Jurassic. I have a couple. Actually, have a really good friend who just lost her mom last night to it. Um, but it's just sit back, pump that orange juice through you, take the medicine they give you. Hopefully, we'll all get this vaccine here shortly. John, I'm actually doing good. It was it's hard to say this. It was a good day at work, and tomorrow's a hunting day. So see if we can't find something. Get to give away this great little NECA figure here in a minute to someone. And so have to go to the post office tomorrow to get that off. Okay, so it's 10 after, and I don't know how to share screens because it says YouTube can't share screens unless you literally have two screens. And I don't have my StreamYard thing set up yet to do that. So I'm going to pop over to this other screen and you will hear the spinner go. So here we go. I'm going to spin for the NECA. Good luck, everybody. Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. Hey, Babyface Collects. You are the winner. So, oops. See if I see it. Spelling that right. So, Babyface, are you here? Woot! We have a winner! We have a winner of this beautiful little ghost face. He has 3 heads and a scythe and many knives to stab you with. So, all you need to do, Babyface, is pop onto my Instagram page, which is also 1000th Ghost, and send me an IM with your address, and I will get that off to you first thing tomorrow. Well, not first thing because I have to be work at 5. I'll get it to you in the afternoon when I get off work, and then pop you the tracking number, and that's great. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thanks for dropping in and talking. I've seen you on a couple other streams here and there, so thank you very much for coming in and chatting. Would you like to say a few words? Do you have other NECA figures or any other horror stuff? And the big winner in everybody's lists seems to be Freddy. It was kind of evenly split between Freddy and Jason, but Freddy kind of came out at the end. Personally, I don't particularly like horror movies. I do like slashers, but I don't like slasher movies. I like thriller movies. But if I'm forced to watch them, the one that scared me the most was the one I saw when I was a kid, which was Night of the original black and white Night of the Living Dead, which I accidentally saw on PBS one night. And when I was up watching Doctor Who, which I wasn't allowed to watch either, but then that came on, and I foolishly thought, meh, it's black and white. How scary could it be? Yeah, I was wrong. Wrong. Cool. I hope your brother enjoys it. But yeah, that movie, and then I grew up in the 80s, so we had, Jason and Freddy, and then we're starting Leatherface, and we had the classic guys, and of course Halloween is always one of my favorite films, just because it's low key horror. It's not a huge slasher movie. In fact, not very many people die in the movie. If you really go back and watch it, it's only like 4 people, but it was the atmosphere that Carpenter was able to create that just drove that movie, and really made it a very, very special. But So we did talk a little bit about Star Wars, but what I wanted to ask some of you guys, and I don't know if anybody has done this, has anybody read any of the High Republic stuff? Either the comic books or the books. I would like to know if you think I should get into that. I'm not real into the new EU. I do read some of the comics, and I've got a couple of the books, but I haven't caught up. And I was wondering if anybody's read any of that. John, what do you think? Is it decent world building, or is it, KOTOR just in a new form? Because I'm really hoping as they bring this along, they bring more of the Knights of the Old Republic stuff back into canon. Oh, and then I had a theory recently that I want to pass along with you guys and see what you think. And I just don't get into the novels because I don't have time. But soon I may be doing some stuff where I have like a block of time I can start listening to them on audio, which they usually have really good performers doing the audios. So I may catch up with that. I just finished all the audiobooks for oh, no, I can't think. Meh, ignore me. Move along. I'll remember. See, the thing about this is this is not digital, and yes, you have to send somebody back into the files and look for things. Eventually, he'll come back up front, and I'll remember what I was talking about. How young is Yoda? Is Yoda a Padawan? I didn't think it was that far back. And of course, we still have to figure out how they age, But Dresden. It was the Dresden Files I just finished on audiobook. See, I told you eventually that dude comes back to the counter and tells me the information I was looking for. So the card catalogs aren't very well kept up in my mind. But I keep thinking about picking it up, and I did pick up issues 1 and 2 of the comic book, and I just haven't gotten around to it, simply because I've got a huge stack, that I still have to work my way through of comics, Transformers and stuff that I'm behind on. But I was really interested to see if anybody had gotten into it, because a lot of the Star Wars fans I know just are not into it. They were really put off by some of the things the authors have said, and they just don't want to get into it, which is too bad, because if it's really well written, I don't care the views of the author. If you can write a good story, you can write a good story. I don't care the thoughts of the performer. If you sing a good song and write a good song, that's what I'm going to listen to. Yeah, so I'm hoping to get into that a little more. But, well, I do have a couple other little things. Came home to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 packages from Entertainment Earth, and a package from Hot Topic that I thought I might pop open while everybody's here too. I think it's going to be mostly pops, but I honestly don't know. It's not packaged well enough to be some of the figures I've ordered from them, and honestly, I don't keep up. Okay, if they put a good I didn't mind the Aftermath books. They were pretty good. I really didn't like the way they dealt with Jar Jar, but I just don't. I stopped reading Deadpool, and Venom just got too much. There was too much of him all around. But I'm kind of meh here and there. I keep falling back and forward into Deadpool because he's hilarious. And Jim Butcher, he is the nicest guy, Dave. If you've ever got a chance to meet him, I met him at a Dragon Con once. In fact, it was the first Dragon Con he'd ever come to, and he was amazed that anybody even came to see him speak. And there were probably about 300 of us in the room. He was just amazed that anybody cared enough to even, and of course all of us pelted him with questions about why did the television series suck so much? Let's see what's. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a soda. I can already tell that. I like that they package these so well that they are metal cans. They're not going to. Oh, whoops. I need to get better at paying attention to what I'm doing. I need to not pre-order things at night. Kids, stay off the computer at night, because now I have another Bebop. Now, hopefully, I'll get a Chase, but knowing my luck, I won't. And then I've got a second Bebop I need to trade to somebody or send off to somebody. Oh, I did get the Chase. Awesome. You found the Chase. Whoops. Well, I lost that. So he's pretty cool. It's very black light. Where is my black light? Well, that doesn't show up very well. Wow. He looks cool. Huh. Neat. Well, never mind then. Kids, stay up late at night and order randomly off the internet. Thank you. Wow. Let's see what this one is, Downfall. I may need your luck again. Oh, cool. Aku from Samurai Jack. And there is a Chase. So we'll see. I probably will. I'll definitely probably be up watching WandaVision. If you guys are up around 1 a.m. Mountain Time, I might be up and might do a live stream and just kind of play it in the background. We can sit and watch together. But let's see. See how good Downfall is. No, I'm not going to join your cult today, Downfall. Sadly, you tricked me into starting to buy wrestling figures, but your powers of the Chase only worked once. That is a neat figure, though. I missed the Samurai Jack. And of course, this is voiced by the great James Hong, who is hilarious. He is like one of the best people to meet in person ever. He'll tell you great stories about out drinking Jack Nicholson when they were shooting Chinatown. He loves to talk about Big Trouble in Little China, of course. But he is a great character actor. If you don't know who he is, he's in Big Trouble in Little China. He's in literally, I think he has over 1,000 things on IMDb. Hey, Downfall, you could start your own little cult. I've seen child ministries that have started earlier than that. Let's see, what is this? Oh. This is a Pop. This is the Tennis McNugget from the Ad Icons line. Babyface, I really like the sodas. I've got a spot. I'm putting them on a wall now. And I'll do a video of that probably this weekend. Leonard, what time zone are you in? Are you in the Mountain Time Zone? Oh, Fireman McNugget. I think I already have him. Maybe not. No. No, TEW, I don't think you should. Unless you're going to literally make sure you only collect like wrestling or something like that. It is a rabbit hole you'll go down, because that's how I got started. I got started because they made Goonies figures. Well, then they made Big Trouble in Little China, and they made Voltron, and they made Battlestar Galactica, and they made Transformers, and they made the A-Team, and they made Knight Rider, and they named Back to the Future. And see how that just, it spirals into everything you collect. It goes. And I love advertising. Old advertising is great, and you know, they have 114 different ad icons now, and over 1,000 television ones, and almost 1,000 Disney ones. So you have to be very careful when you start buying pops, because then you'll say, oh, well, I only need this one. You know, if you can limit yourself just to the wrestling ones, you might do pretty well. They are supposed to be making some AEW ones later this year, but they make ones for WWE all the time. They have tons of them. Classic stuff, new stuff, everything. But I would not get trapped into that if you can help it. I will rarely tell people not to collect something, because everybody collects something. Everybody's a fan of something. And that's Funko's motto. But then if you like video games, you know, then they have Mortal Kombat ones. And do you like comics? Because there's 1,000 Marvel ones. And, you know, yeah, like John, you're able to just do the Joker pops. And ooh, cool. Stay Puft. That was all that was in this box. Man, this has been a pretty heavy soda day. You know, and Babyface is a good example. They're about to come out with 12 new Deadpool pops for an anniversary thing, and 12 or 16 new mystery mini Deadpools. And so it's just, you know, and then every time the movie comes out, there's a whole new set of them. And Funko is really good at that, but I got suckered in, and I literally have over 3,000 pops. And I am selling most my Marvel, most my DC. I'm keeping my Disney and my Star Wars and my television ones that I really like. But, you know, then they do, you know, here's the 10-inch ones, and they do 3-packs, and they did little houses, and they do 6-inch ones, and, you know, it just, and then they do, you know, Funko Soda, and they do mystery minis, and they do reaction, and they do Pez Funko pop stuff. And so you get to the point where there's just so many, and I don't have room. My other collection actually went out into the garage because Funko took over my house. Cool. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He is not the Chase, it looks like. I don't think, because I think the Chase is all fiery. Yeah. No Chase, but still. Great Ghostbusters. They haven't done any of the Ghostbusters guys yet, but I'm hoping they do this guy, maybe Gozer, and then start the 4. Once Afterlife comes out, maybe we'll get those. Over here, yes, it is. That's actually going to be my next video is going to be him. And the Hangman. I'm going to do an opening on these, and I don't know how many more I'll do of these. I picked them up because everybody seemed to like them a lot, but you know, this is actually the last review I did of these, of 2. I did Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. That's one of my lowest watched videos of all time, which is odd considering how, you know, popular AEW seems to be. So I might do those, and I've got a few WWFs out in the car that I'm going to do some, and then go from there and see if I don't start getting more likes on the videos or something. I may just do some of the WWF stuff that I like just for me, but I don't know if I'll pick up a lot more stuff. And then this is where'd my knife go? Here it is. This is the last box, and this is probably a pop by the size of the box. I think my audience is a lot into Transformers and into some classic stuff, and really seem to be into the hunts. Some of my videos I've done recently on things that weren't hunting have not done well, but that's okay because I'm making stuff that I like as well. So the last thing I got was a pop. This is Donald Duck on the Casey Jr. train. So it's for the 65th anniversary of Disneyland. They did a whole bunch of different pieces that all fit together. And of course, what was sad about this was last year was the 65th anniversary of Disneyland, and then it wasn't even open. So they've got all this merch for the 65th anniversary that's going to dump. If any of you live in California or in Florida, and they have the character workshop stuff there, you're going to see a lot of that stuff dumping probably very soon because they're not going to have it in the parks. They keep saying Disneyland is going to open in March. I really don't think so. They've gotten enough signatures to recall the governor, but they'd have to have a vote. So we'll see. I had a buddy who he ended up having to buy all his AEW stuff on the market, and then they showed up the week after he got them, of course, in the mail. He just happened to be wandering at a Walmart on the other side of town, and he found all of them on the pig hooks. He was mad, but then he bought them all anyway so he could keep them in packages. So, because now he's decided to keep all his AEW stuff in packs. The only ones I didn't see were Moxley and Dustin Rhodes. Those were the two I didn't see on the pig hooks. I bought all four. That new Steve Austin. Cool. I almost picked up the Hogan the other day that I saw, but I didn't. And then when I went back, it was gone. Yeah, it's not a bad Funko, John. It's I like the Disney stuff, and especially the Fab Five. And of course, anything Haunted Mansion, or Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, TEW. That's how I do. Well, I did a lot of my Star Wars during the years, but then I got to the point where I just wasn't opening anything because I lose all the parts. I have a toy chest I'm going to go through someday, maybe in a live feed, of everything from Star Wars to Transformers, Voltron, Jason the Wheeled Warriors. If anybody remembers that show, I got some Thundercats in there, I think. Just stuff from my childhood that I want to sort out. But that Dustin figure, on the pictures I've seen, he looks huge. But I know I sometimes wish they'd release stuff a little early, just because. Of course, with Disney Plus, cancel Disney Plus trending on Twitter for the past day and a half, they could release it early and just nip all that in the bud. Then all everybody would be talking about was WandaVision. And I'm so anxious to see what they're going to do and how this new Quicksilver is going to work into the MCU. I don't, and how Sword is going to react to it, because that'll be the big thing. Because Darcy knows who that is, and I would assume Wu knows who Quicksilver really is. So I don't know how Sword's going to react to a completely new casting of him. I love those two together. Falcon and the Winter Soldier are hilarious together. They're great, and I cannot wait for that show. March cannot come fast enough. I believe there's only a 1 week after WandaVision ends that we have to wait before Falcon. I keep calling it Falcon and the Snowman, just because I'm old and that's the first thing that runs through my head. But they look great. It looks hilarious. I don't know why he's still Falcon, though. I don't know if he's trying to figure out who he's going to be as the new Captain America. Clearly in that trailer, there was a U.S. agent. So what's that all about? Okay, Downfall. And is there anybody he is still on who has a YouTube channel that we didn't tag up, and TEW can get that tagged on here, and everybody go subscribe. I hadn't thought of that. You're right. He is technically a felon. I don't know. It's yeah. Now you made me think, John. I like that. That's an interesting thing. Oh well. And I'd also like to know how far after WandaVision this is going to be set, because we know WandaVision is only set about 3 weeks or so after the end of Endgame, so it can't. I would hope there's at least a couple month thing. I don't want to think that everybody just went insane 3 weeks after the end of Endgame, and this is what we're getting. I wonder if there'll be any callbacks to WandaVision. I don't know, John. I am very anti Justice League, but I don't know. I don't like Zack Snyder. I don't like any film he's ever made. I don't like his shooting style. What's up with the hospital gown Joker that looks like some sort of weird cross between Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix now? I have HBO Max, so I might give it a try. I don't know if it's still going to be the 4-hour epic they talked about, or if they're going to break it up. Once they talked about trying to break it up into 1-hour episode-y type things. I don't know if I can sit for 4 hours and watch Justice League again. But, well, and he handed the mantle over to Falcon. Falcon's been Captain America before in the comics and stuff, and so is U.S. Agent. U.S. Agent was actually the real Captain America for a while too, or with the mantle. And then they took it away, and he was evil, and then of course they came back, and then Cap was evil. So I was really hoping they'd really get Falcon into that, but then you start to think about, well, Falcon's Falcon. He doesn't have any powers. He doesn't have the super serum, so he can't run around and punch things and jump and do all that. So, well, and John, that's why I was wondering why U.S. Agent is in the show, because they're not trying to pretend that Cap is still alive. I think they're going to go ahead and let the world know that both Cap and Iron Man are dead. I mean, we know that from Spider-Man, but I don't know about Cap. Surely they're not going to pretend that this U.S. Agent guy is Captain America, but we'll see how that all rolls out. But I think it's going to be a good, fun show. It definitely looks really good. And Babyface, I'll have to give DC and McFarlane all the credit, because they are pushing it. And they have figures out and Marvel doesn't. And so people are buying, sure, 99.9% of them all some sort of version of Batman. But, I really liked the Green Lantern. I liked a couple of the other figures. Batman just doesn't do it for me as a character. He's very cool, but I like the villains better. I like the people who surround him better. But we'll see how that all works out. I don't know anything about that character, Nate. I've always only known Steve Rogers. My dad collected a lot of his comics when he was a kid. So I don't know in that timeline who that is. But I do know who Patriot is, and the Young Avengers. But that must have been in a time where I either wasn't reading or kind of fell by the wayside. I didn't read comics for about 20 years. But, um, well, and Winter Soldier is always going to be better over Cap because Cap's a Boy Scout. Cap is Superman. Superman is a Boy Scout. So they can be quippy and they can be, but in the end, they're good people who are going to make what they believe is the right decision. So, where Iron Man and Batman are the same character, basically. Bruce is always going to do what he thinks is best. Tony is always going to do what he thinks is best. One is just a more exaggerated character than the other. Tony has a lot more flaws than Batman. Batman's more mentally broken. Iron Man, I think, is spiritually broken, if that's a real thing. Especially in the series is when he was dealing with his alcoholism and things like that. You really saw that he was hurting deeper inside than Bruce, who just won't get over his parents' death and likes to beat it out of people. But yeah. So anyway, WandaVision gonna be good, and I can't wait. And then after that is Loki, and then sometime around August, maybe September, we'll get Stranger Things Series 4, which I also can't wait for. That's going to be great. At some point, we're going to get Black Widow, hopefully. If they put it on Disney Plus, I'm not going to pay $30 for it. If you put it on there for $14, I'll buy it. And if they release it to theaters, I'll go see it in the theater. But I'm not going to pay extra, like they tried to force people to pay extra for Mulan. And nobody really did. It did okay, but not the numbers they were really looking for. Really looking forward to Godzilla versus King Kong. Going to watch the monkey go down. Of course, it's not because, Mega Godzilla is going to come in and do something and they'll fight him together or something. I love the meme going around where Godzilla's beat up King Kong and he's laying there and he says, Mothra. And Godzilla says, why'd you say that name? That's just great. All right. Thanks, Babyface. Send me that IM on Instagram, and I will get that box off to you tomorrow afternoon. And enjoy. Hope your brother likes it. Yeah, John, it's great. It's the old 60s Godzilla versus King Kong, and it's very funny. It's a great meme. It unfortunately came out just before the Bernie memes did, and then Bernie memes, of course, took over everything. But yeah, it's it's too funny. But I have some hope for the Justice League movie, but how much reshooting did they do is a question, and or how much was just laying there with everything with Jaws Wheaton now coming out. He's not going to work again for a while. Okay. Send it to me, and if I haven't already started following you, I will, and go from there. You really think they reshot 90% of the movie? That'd be crazy, because I thought that the guy playing Cyborg wasn't going to be in it at all anymore. That they basically kind of removed him now, that he wasn't going to come and do reshoots. Then they were all complaining because Affleck wasn't in good enough shape. Then just make it a new. If they're reshooting 90% of it, happy birthday, Nate! Everybody, tell Nate happy birthday. Where are you going out to, Nate? Anywhere special? The Sizzler or something like that? I don't know, California. You have, I don't know if you have Sizzlers. Still have Shakey's Pizzas though. You could go out there. Woohoo! Yeah, I know they gave him. Didn't they say like $130 million? Oh, Outback, yum. Got to get some bloomin' onions. Got to get a little bit of a that bloomin' onion and nice big 22-ounce steak. With some chili. Yum. Well, you enjoy, Nate. Talk to you later, brother. Peace, brother. And I am glad they got Jared Leto to come back and try and fix that horrible thing that was the Suicide Squad. Space Jam 2. And nobody knows what to do with movies anymore. Do you put out trailers? Give a date? You don't know what to do. I mean, look at James Bond. It's moved so many times. They're literally reshooting parts of it because the phones and stuff he uses in it are now out of date. So they're going back and reshooting stuff because the Apple products or whatever it is are out of date. Hey, Darth, how you doing? That ghetto gangster Joker he was like a 90s white kid trying to be a rapper, and it was horrible. Just horrible. If you didn't catch Darth Blaze's stream, he did a 4-hour stream. That was long. And he did it while drinking Coors. Ugh. Ugh. I live in Colorado. We ship that stuff out for a good reason. But it'll be interesting to see if they bring how they deal with the Flash and all that stuff. Yeah, and Darth got screwed several times. Kept going up and over 200, and then YouTube would come and rip people away from him. Freaking algorithm was screwing him. Darth, where did you end up? Are you back over 2 again, or where'd you end up? Because he helped out a lot of people yesterday on his stream, getting people to some of their benchmarks, and everybody worked hard getting him those subscriptions and likes. And YouTube can be really weird with how it just makes people disappear out of your feed. But well, I hope you're doing better, Darth. It was good to see you live stream and see your face. So back to movie talk for a minute. With Space Jams 2, I haven't even seen a trailer for that yet. I've seen little bits and pieces, but nothing as an official trailer. And I don't know if kids are really. I mean, I think it would have done well at the theater, but I don't think it will really do that well on HBO Max, just because it's. I don't know. It doesn't seem like something anybody's really looking at. Nobody's really said, "Oh, I need Space Jams 2." We'll see. It's nice to see new Looney Tunes stuff, though. I haven't gotten back into the new Animaniacs. I watched a couple episodes, and it was okay, but it seemed like they were trying too hard. I heard that they're going to start up the Batman animated series again with the same writers. It's going to be good. Yeah, it's what the space people come back. They've been, it's been 40 years or 30 years or whatever. Now they want a rematch. I don't know. We'll see. But there are figures coming for it, or at least pops. But it just didn't seem like a movie that was screaming that it needed to be made. But it might surprise us. I didn't think Han Solo needed to be made either, and actually I kind of really like Han Solo the more I watch it. So, or Rogue One. I actually like both those movies better than the other trilogy films that Disney has done, and I didn't think either of those movies needed to be made. So, don't listen to me. We'll have to see when it starts up. Um, but that I might catch. I don't know if I have time for a 4 hour uh, Justice League. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with almost anything in Solo except that one thing. Just took me out of the movie, and I didn't care anymore. And I was like, then everything else was telegraphed. That was just horrible, just horrible. I mean, I've said this before. He knows his name. He knows his father's name. His father worked in the shipyards for years. He said so. Uh, anyway, it'll be interesting to see what if we see him back in the Lando Calrissian series. I really kind of hope that jumps all over the place. Like Lando is telling a story, and he says, "Oh, and this one time," and then he tells a story, and you can never trust him. He's not a narrator you can trust. So you don't know what's canon and what's not. I think a series that God knows what's going on would be hilarious. Well, that's good, Darth, because that was a bunch of bullshit. But and then with the Bad Batch coming later this year, Disney Plus is kind of where it's at. I know a lot of people are mad because of the whole stuff going on with Gina and the Mandalorian, but we weren't going to see her again maybe until that new Republic show, which they can easily replace her. I didn't see why she needed to be the star of that show anyway when she already has a job. But and now it'll be real interesting. I guess Pablo Pascal is now the lead on The Last of Us. And apparently he is, I'm trying to think of the term they used. He is like the guy on the show. And when you're put contractually into that position, that show has rights over you. So it could be that because he wasn't going to be filming any new Mandalorian stuff until either deep into this year or early next year, that he is kind of out too. That the book about Boba Fett's going to be mostly about Boba Fett and not have him in it hardly at all. And then come back for Series 3 sometime in 2022. But it'll be interesting to see. And John, I don't know what they're going to do with that. They would have been pretty far along in casting and in scripting and in pre-production. But, they've been trying to get rid of her since November, we were talking about earlier. And maybe they've already kind of made that change. And everything doesn't have to be connected. I mean, I know they said that's what's going to happen, and that Rangers and Mandalorian and Boba Fett and this stuff's all going to merge together for one, Defenders type thing. But it doesn't need to. You just let the shows be the shows. It doesn't need to marvelize and just come into one big movie. So I'm actually not for that. So I think recasting her would not be hard for that show. Now, just completely recasting the character, somebody said that Lucy Lawless, fans are trying to get her. The problem is they're trying to remember her as Xena and not as she is now. Not that Lucy Lawless is in that bad of shape or anything. She's just old. And, she'd have to use a stunt person for most of her things. Still, it would be cool to have Lucy Lawless in Star Wars. So I'm not going to say no to that. But they're trying to reboot Hercules and Xena, which she would be executive producer for. So who knows? I honestly don't know, because you either completely cast against the type she already was, because if you recast and you're trying, I mean, what's her name? Roddy Piper's girl. Somebody's put forth that she should be the new one. that there are a couple other WWE people who could fill in, but I don't honestly know. I don't know actors who would fill her shoes literally. She's a big girl. She's strong. Yeah, that's her, Ronda Rousey. There's a couple people I was reading today, and they were saying, well, let's just keep with the WWE, wrestling and MMA type people. But I mean, you could cast her around. But if season 3 of The Mandalorian wasn't going to be until 2022 anyway, and it doesn't sound like the new Rangers of the New Republic was going to be anytime soon either. It was going to be 2022 as well. You do have plenty of time to recast her. So, and to change some of the scripts. I mean, really, unless you were counting on her backstory, you could make anybody from Endor, that character and give them a different backstory. It doesn't have to be somebody from Alderaan or anything like that. You don't even have to mention her. You could mention that, somebody from her unit, from Endor. But I don't know enough actors who could fill her shoes properly. Queen Latifah, the Equalizer is gonna be canceled soon. She won't be busy. Could cast Queen Latifah. No, not at all. But yeah, that's true. And with the MCU and the time jump, they were able to cast out and start the young kids, and that'll be interesting with the whole MCU crossover into Fox. It'll be interesting to see how many of the Fox X-Men move into the MCU, and more which ones. Is it the first class cast, or is it some of the older cast, Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart and people like that? I don't think they're going to bring Patrick in. He's too old. Plus, he's got they got first dibs on him over at Paramount for maybe a second season of Picard. So and they don't even have to explain the time jumps. It would just be, this is Mystique now. Hey, Sandro, what's up? We're just sitting around talking MCU and Star Wars for a few more minutes before everybody's got to go I know there's a couple other people doing streams tonight. We were talking about WandaVision earlier and Star Wars, with everything going on with the possible recasting of Gina and movies coming out. Kind of just been an entertainment-related stream tonight. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see which of those people aren't doing something right now. Of course, nobody's working because of COVID, really. But I don't think somebody like Jennifer Lawrence would come into the MCU. She hates being in that makeup, which I don't blame her for. And maybe they could do it more CGI these days than they used to. But I don't think they're going to bring like her in. I think it'll be smaller characters that might pop in, like the guy playing Beast, or things like that. The kid playing Cyclops. It'd be interesting. Or if they brought Masters, was the guy who played him in he already works for Disney. He could come in. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, it opens up so many possibilities. I mean, they're talking having Keanu Reeves. They're talking to him about being Kraven the Hunter, which that would be an awesome casting. I actually would have preferred him to be Ghost Rider like 10 years ago. But now they're talking about having Nick Cage be back as Johnny Blaze, but passing on the mantle to somebody else. Kind of in the same way they're doing the Spider-Man thing. There'd be a couple of different Ghost Riders. And of course, they already had Ghost Riders in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I don't know. I didn't finish watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he just stopped being on the show or he died. But Um, and they're talking to Jason Gordon-Levitt to come into the MCU as well, but they haven't said for what. So it'd be interesting to see what they were bringing him in. And of course, the rumors are still high that Tom Hardy is going to come back definitely as Venom in the Spider-Man movie before his sequel comes out with Woody Harrelson. And then the rumor that Chris Evans is coming back not only to maybe play Cap, but that he was going to be Johnny Johnny Storm. Is that his name? The Human Torch again, in some sort of weird pullover from the Fox Fantastic Four movies. Hey, Richard, how you doing? We're just hanging out, talking. Tom Hardy would have been a good Logan. He really would have been, but now that he's Venom, I don't think you could make him Logan. But also now that he's number one to replace Daniel Craig in James Bond, I don't think he'll have time for the MCU. James Bond's a very daunting task to take over. You only get about 3 or 4 movies out of an actor these days because they do so much running and jumping and stuff that they break those poor guys. You know, Daniel Craig's in great physical shape, but man, he says his knees all jacked up and his back's jacked up, and you don't want that. So we'll see what they do with the MCU. Has so much some place to go now, and with Moon Knight coming out, and with Blade being relaunched, and I'm hoping that they're going to do like, I would love to see a Sons of Midnight come back with Mobius, which that's still coming out this year supposedly. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it's getting anything reshoots done or if it's completely done, just sitting in the end. Yeah, and the Gambit movie had been written for quite a while, and that was supposed to be Channing Tatum was connected to that for quite a while. And then that just kind of fell apart, kind of like the Flash movie keeps falling apart. They'll get a writer and they'll do some stuff on it. I think they're doing too much in Flash, so I think it messes with directors. But supposedly it's moving forward again. Of course, the Cyborg movie's been killed, so we're not going to see that. I do think it would be very funny if in this Justice League movie they had Ryan Reynolds come in as the Green Lantern. But of course they won't. But it would be very funny if they did. I would give Zach a lot of credit if he were to just say, fuck it, it's my movie. I wanted him in it. He's going to be in it. But, Ryan's got, liquor to push and a phone system to push and working on Deadpool 3, so maybe he doesn't have time. There's another movie that disappeared. Remember Ryan Reynolds has that movie Free Guy coming out that just kind of disappeared? It was supposed to be out in December, and then just that was that. I haven't heard that's got a new release date either. And there's always movies that just keep getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and now they're starting to push stuff into 2022 as if everything is going to be fine and we'll be back at 100%. I guess today Colorado started, you can go back to 40%. Heh, Alpha Flight, that would be great. I don't know if the world's ready for Canadian superheroes. They're having a hard time figuring out how to do Captain Britain. He would be great as Puck, but of course the proper casting for Puck is the guy from Game of Thrones. But he's already in the MCU. But he could have a shave and stuff and be somebody else. And, yeah, that Nicolas Cage Superman movie, that was just weird. There was a lot going on there, and even Tim Burton's like, no, they were giving me too much power, and I was using it in a weird way. And even he's kind of disavowing it in a way. He still thinks it's funny, but it's 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 weird to watch him and Nick Cage talk about it. Of course, Tim Burton's got his Addams Family television series coming up that they've been talking to Johnny Depp about being in as Gomez. So that is true. He is Cable and Thanos. So Durgage could still do Puck. It would be nice to get outside of the Avengers Spider-Man world. I know that, Fox has done the X-Men movies, but nobody cares anymore. It would be nice to do Alpha Flight, or we have that that Miss Marvel show coming out at some point in the next year as well. It would be nice to see other parts of the Marvel universe. It would be nice to see Captain Britain. It would be nice to see West Coast Avengers, Alpha Flight, Young Warriors, Fantastic Four would be a good starting point for all that. Dinklage would be great as Puck, and then you could get it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and of course Suicide Squad 2. That looks great. I think Brie had. I didn't like it. I won't say I didn't like the Captain Marvel movie. It was okay. I thought the effects on both Coulson and Nick Fury were amazing. That is getting better and better and better. But it was so dull, and her acting was so stiff. And they did say that she shot most of her stuff for Endgame and stuff before they'd even shot anything for her movie. So she kind of didn't really know her character before she even moved into her film. So I'm really hoping that it gets. I hope for the exact opposite for what happened with Wonder Woman, where the first Wonder Woman movie was awesome. It was great. Wonder Woman 84 was horrible. I'm really hoping that Captain Marvel was, it's Thor 2, it's Iron Man 2, whatever. And then go into Captain Marvel 2, where it doesn't have to tie into the Avengers. It's kind of its own thing. Maybe we get Rambo from WandaVision. It doesn't have all that baggage hanging off of it, and it can be a little more free and go from there. That's what I hope for, And the 90s nostalgia was great in it. It was fun to see. Like anytime I see 80s stuff, it makes me happy. But that's except for Wonder Woman 84. They didn't do the 80s stuff right. And it's, I don't know, Stranger Things locked that whole 80s vibe down. I mean, it's the same mall. The mall they used in Stranger Things season 3 is the same mall they use in Wonder Woman 84. But you wouldn't know it because the one in Stranger Things actually looks like a mall from the 80s. But the one from Wonder Woman 84 is like I don't know, it's bright and sunny, and that's not what malls in the 80s were. But I do think Rambeau is a better actress. But honestly, I haven't seen Brie in a lot of things, and I want to give her the benefit of the doubt of trying again, because I didn't not, like her in game. She's just so overpowered. But so's Wanda, but it doesn't come across. Wanda was kicking the hell out of Thanos before she got interrupted, and but she doesn't come off as cocky. And you're right, Sandra. She does come across as cocky, but yeah. And they even remodeled that mall, and see, and I didn't see Skull Island, and I actually have to watch Skull Island before Godzilla vs. King Kong comes out, so I'll understand what's going on with King Kong. I really never thought that Godzilla vs. King Kong movie would actually get made, because it's just a crazy idea that King Kong is suddenly now the size of skyscrapers and can fight Godzilla, because Godzilla will just shoot him with fire breath, light the monkey on fire, and that's the end of the monkey. But, now he has Thor's hammer, so, now he can fight Godzilla. Because Godzilla shoots directly at the hammer. That's going to be, I have not seen Skull Island. I've never been a big King Kong fan. I, of course, saw the original and I saw the 1980 version, but I did not see Skull Island. It's on HBO Max, and I have to work Saturday, so I'm probably going to end up watching it on then. But I didn't even want to watch the Peter Jackson Godzilla. So Skull Island it was like, this was just out. I didn't want to see this, but yeah, and I guess he gets shot up with some juice or something, or the nuclear stuff gets to him or something, and that's why he's so big. But really, I'm just watching to see Godzilla crush things, and I've always liked the Toho Godzilla movies. And Peter came off of the Lord of the Rings, and the first project he picks is King Kong, which has pretty much destroyed everybody who's ever tried to remake that movie. You can't top the original. The one with Faye Dunaway and them in the 80s, it was not good either. But I would like to see a West Coast Avengers, even as if it was just a series. I really think a lot of these can be done as 8-part series, as opposed to $300 million movies. And I think Cove, That Which Must Not Be Named, has shown everybody that you can still do good stuff. I mean, would anybody have watched WandaVision if it was a movie? How would have they even shot that as a movie? You just have a weird intermission in the middle, like the old movies used to. So you couldn't even shoot that as a movie. I think the same thing is going to hold true for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that's got a lot of plot in it, and it's able to pull out, and it doesn't all end with a giant battle with something shooting up into the sky and a big CGI battle that everybody's in. I think that's the way Star Wars and the MCU are going to move forward. I don't think you need to have another 22 feature films if you can do 2 or 3 feature films and make them event films like Star Wars used to be. Instead of, there's a new movie every 6 months. And, now what if we got a movie every 3 years, 2 or 3 years? And it could still combine with things, but now we're getting Spider-Man and Doctor Strange will be movies, and that's good. We don't need 5 movies a year. You'll burn out. That's what happened to Star Wars. You burned out on it, and the stores couldn't keep up with the merchandising. And so I will try and watch Kong Skull Island. Just because I want to make sure I know what's going on for the crossover characters and things like that. Indoor Hulk? Is he small and furry? Oh, Indoor Luke. That makes much more sense. Yeah. Well, and from what I heard, they've stopped production on all the Cara Dune toys. There won't be any more black figures shipped. Anything that's in the warehouses now will be shipped out, and that's it. No more Cara Dune figures, no vintage figures, no Black Series figures, no Hot Toys, nothing. for now. So we'll see. But good luck with that hunt out there. Are they holding it for you, or did you pre-order it? Because I know a lot of the GameStops around me, they've got the Han out of that set, but they're all out of Luke's. Yep, I got mine. I got my, I don't know where she went. I just got my that Target exclusive one that has the carbonite effect to it. So I've got all mine. I've got my vintage figures. So I've got what I need. Now, if you see them out there, I would buy them for future trade or selling on eBay. I bet you if you go out there right now, her Topps card, autograph cards, and anything like that, she won't ever be invited to a Star Wars celebration again. She won't be invited to San Diego Comic-Cons probably ever again. They will make sure she's canceled and canceled good. So if you have any of that stuff, I'd hold on to it, just for posterity's sake of keeping it. But Hulk versus Wolverine would be interesting. I still want to see how they're going to bring Wolverine into the MCU. I think we'll see more of that through WandaVision, and then maybe Miss Marvel. I'm still not sure the entire basis of the Miss Marvel show. If she's kind of out on her own, or if she is or isn't part of the MCU. Is she going to be part of a New Warriors type thing? So it'll be interesting to see, because she's pretty powerful too, and it looks like a really good show. I'm really looking forward to that as well. In fact, there's no Marvel show I'm not looking forward to. So, or Star Wars, really. Nothing that they're putting out have I said, except for the new High Republic thing, because I'm just not into reading and stuff that much anymore. I ran out of time. But I will. And I'm hoping that somehow, Sword, no, Miss Marvel's actually her own television series on Disney Plus. So I don't know. I think she's Pakistani, the girl who's playing her. But they dropped that at the whatever that big D23 event or whatever it was, where they announced all the stockholders thing, where they announced all those new Star Wars shows. One of the new Marvel things they talked about was that her show, and Moon Knight, and Blade, and a couple other things. There's a new animated series. Then you've got Samuel Jackson's show, and then there's of course What If. That's going to be cool. That'd be good. Maybe that's what Brie needs, is somebody else to work against. Because, maybe she's intimidated by Samuel L. Jackson, who wouldn't be. But, maybe with her, she needs somebody to work off of. And maybe that would be good for her and make the movie even better. So I'm hoping for that. But again, I don't know when any of that stuff's coming, because Captain Marvel 2 wasn't even supposed to go into pre-production until this month. So I don't know how far along even that is. And of course, nothing's going forward with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because James Gunn's still working on Suicide Squad 2. And then, of course, they're shooting Thor: Love and Thunder and Love and 80s Rock and Roll, whatever they're doing, whatever that movie's called. They're shooting that now, in Doctor Strange. So, and Spider-Man. So they got 3 Marvel movies shooting right now. So it'll be a little hard for them to go forward. Then, of course, the Cassian Andor show for Star Wars is shooting now. The Obi-Wan movie has started shooting. And something else that started pre-production. I don't know. And then they're finishing up stuff on a couple of the animated things. So there's so much stuff coming, but it's all television based, and I think that's where you're going to see it. But oh, geez, I didn't know we talked this long. I don't know. With those guys, you just don't know what they're going to put out. Um, it's I don't know, John. I couldn't even guess. I have heard no rumors really about it, about what they're thinking about putting in it, or anything. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. If you've seen pictures of Chris Helmsworth and Chris Pratt on the set of Thor, wow, Pratt is rocking some sort of weird psychedelic uh, coat. Um, it looks nuts. It really does. But I would expect nothing less from the director. Um, so it's be interesting. But did anybody say anybody look up when the Morbius movie is due? Um, if they've set a date for that, I know they've tried to set a new date for Top Gun 2, and the new Halloween moved to October to Halloween, which should be in the first Megan place. But I hadn't heard anything about the new that, and that's supposed to connect into Spider-Man. So it'd be interesting to see if Sony's moving forward with that and um, going to put that out in theaters, or they don't really have an outlet for it. They could sell it to Disney Plus, but I think it's too violent for Disney Plus. Um, it could end up on Hulu, I guess, because they're talking about turning Hulu into a Fox studio type thing. Yeah, Sandro, I've seen stuff on my Facebook. I follow them on Facebook out of the box. I just haven't gotten up there, um, but it's so far. I don't go very far. Thornton is very far for me to drive from Aurora, which sounds stupid, but I just don't go up that way very often. I keep meaning to because I want to go up there. I want to go to the flea market. I want to go to the Brass Armadillo. There's a comic book store up on 104th, I think it is, that I want to go to. But, you know, October. Oh, God, I hope it doesn't move to 2022. At some point, we have to stop moving things, accept the loss, and go. James Bond was offered, they were offered 320 million by Netflix to just buy that movie outright. And they said no because they think they can make more money on it. They were still going to retain international rights, so they still could have put it out overseas in theaters. But there's just no, um, there's nowhere to put that here. Theaters here in Colorado are finally going to, I think, 40 or 50% capacity we're allowed to go back to this week. And I know somebody who manages a theater, and they've barely been hanging on. And he thinks finally they're going to be able to make a little bit of money, hire a couple more other people back. But, it's one of those things where, just take the loss and move on. Disney should just suck it up, put Black Widow on Disney Plus, use it as a loss leader, and, charge $5 for it or $10 for it, or a normal ticket price. So I would pay as much as $15 to see Black Widow, but I'm not going to pay more, because if I'm not going to own it forever, then I'm not going to buy it, because I'm not going to buy it again when it hits DVD to have yet another digital copy I don't need, because the digital copy I have is already on Disney Plus. But yeah, Sandro, there's a ton of comic book shops up there. I don't know why there aren't more down southish in Highlands Ranch or in Aurora. I don't know if it's because our taxes are too high, or if they're just there's nowhere to put them, or they don't have a base. It's just weird that everything's up north. So I don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that they should just dump this stuff onto the onto the streaming services, or I didn't like what HBO did with the whole part and part. You can put it in the theater and you put it on, but it does give you the choice um, to go to the theater and see it. And as long as I don't have to pay extra, I don't care. Oh, no problem, Jurassic. We've just been I've been yammering on for quite a while now. Yeah, and see, Disney sucked it up and understood that Onward and Soul, they could. Onward had made pretty good money, and then Soul, they figured out it wasn't going to do as well. A lot of people really like it, and it's kind of a polarizing Pixar film again. I don't know why, but I haven't gotten to see it yet. I did see the Wayne and Garth thing. That was actually pretty. That was a pretty funny commercial. Um, they look really old, which they are really old, but I love those Predator figures. I love the Predator figures because not only are they only $10, they look good, and you can play with them. And I've been to a couple different Walmarts who have had them, and I've seen them in the hands of kids around 8 to 10 years old who were saying, "Can I get this?" And that's what we want. Is we want new young collectors, and we want toys they can buy and play with. Nobody's going to buy them a NECA figure that's going to break the instant they have it in their hands, but they'll buy them 3 of those Leonard figures for the same price, or a Predator and an Alien. Apparently, they're working on some other stuff for RoboCop and a couple other things. So, you know, yeah, and like John says, they're customizable. You can get them and pop stuff on and off them, and use them as army builders. For stuff as well. Um, there's supposed to be a smaller version of them too. I don't know if that was canceled, but there was actually supposed to be like a 6-inch version of them. That maybe it was canceled and they just did the 2 bigger sizes. But the Aliens ones last year were kind of nice. I thought they were a little too cheap, but the new Aliens ones are really nice, and I think though they work really well. And those Aliens are perfect army builders. So, and Jurassic can tell you as a customizer, anything you can get for cheap and use parts for would work. So, all I've seen are the 2 different sizes. The one, it's a 10-inch figure, and then I think the other is 8-ish, 7 or 8-ish. They're not overly huge, but somebody had said that there were going to be normal sized ones, kind of like the NECA size. So, and of course, Super 7 just picked up the Godzilla license from NECA, and Mego got the Planet of the Apes license from NECA. So NECA's losing stuff here and there. And of course, now that Disney owns Fox and everything, they can put all these properties through the through Leonard and can do whatever they want with them. So if there is a 3-inch version of them, there's cool. I know that they do have the Predator Mega Block guys that are about the same size as minifigs, and they've got a few of those sets out now, but I haven't seen anything bigger than that for Predator recently. Although I've heard several of the Walmarts around town have restocked, so I'm going to go toy shop hunting tomorrow. So, and I like NECA as an idea. I am an inbox collector, so the ghost face figure would sit exactly as it is. I wish it had a window on it so I could see inside it. If the NECA boxes were more like the the DC McFarlane's, I would be very happy with them and would probably own quite a few of them. But since you can't see the figure, through the box. I can't put them next to my G.I. Joes and my Marvels up here, or my Harry Potters, or even the Red Series stuff or Black Series, because they just, they're pictures. They're nice pictures. I would like to see the figures. So, of course, I'm a 3 3/4 whore. So I would prefer all figures be 3 3/4 and never have 6-inch Black Series figures. But I collect them anyway because they're beautiful. I'm hoping to pick up some new either 3 3/4 G.I. Joe. Wave 3 is hit. Or still looking for that Zartan. Hoping to get that. I was going to go on an epic toy run this weekend, but it's supposed to be 5 degrees here on Sunday, and I'm not going outside. I'm going to stay inside. I'm going to sleep until like 7 o'clock in the morning and get up and make some like cream of wheat for breakfast, nice and warm and toasty. And then maybe I'll watch Kong Island, and then rewatch Godzilla before, too late. But I really like that NECA makes stuff and makes a lot. I mean, there are so many Predators to choose from. But now they've got all that. The T2 stuff has really started hitting. Those are very cool. I kind of, and they live. That Roddy Piper, I'm going to end up picking one of him up. And I might even, God help me, pick up the Richard Simmons. I don't know why, but the fact that there's a Richard Simmons figure is as crazy as pretty much anything I could imagine. Yeah, Richard, it's going to be cold. I think they said we were going to be at -11 at some point this weekend for our low. So yeah, I'm not going outside. I'm staying in. I've got like 3 or 4 videos I can shoot for next week. Some stuff on some new autographs I picked up. I want to show off my Funko Soda collection. There probably won't be a Mystery Monday box because I don't want to go out in the garage and move everything and have the possibility that any of those figures will just pop off their backs because it's so cold. But I've got some other stuff around here.
Right?
So,
yeah, 2 corpses, everything's fine.
John, what'd you do? John, would you stop that? Thank you. Well, that's buying a new figure tomorrow. So I'll take that and the other $10 you gave me, and I will I'll buy a new black figure if I see it, or a Joe. And next time we do one of these, I'll say, and this is the figure John bought. So you don't have to do that, John. It is a surprise. So thank you, John, very much. Everybody, I should probably get off too. I know there was some sleeping and some other people were going to run some stuff here at about 6:30 or 7. Well, my time at least. So I've had a great time talking to all of you as usual. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you again for being subscribers. I'm going to get this box off to Babyface, and hopefully we'll get to 300. And like I said, I'm thinking, depending on what I find recently, 300 might be a wrestling one. So we'll see. But again, thank you all for coming in. If I get really bored on Sunday, maybe I'll see you all, or 1 a.m. Mountain Time tonight, I might get up and start a live stream and just watch WandaVision with everybody. Thank you guys again. Good night.